Hi everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome. I know I'm starting. Yes, I deliberately put the time at 6:10 p.m. my time. Yeah. Okay. We just have two people. Where is everybody? Is everybody tired? We have just 10 more, no, 11 more days to go. Today is 20th of August. So we have 11 more days to the end of the August special offer. I know that. Hey, greetings. Thank you, Arize. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. How was your day? Or how is your day going? I know we're on two different time zones. So my time is like 2 hours ahead. I don't know. You're in Manitoba, so it should be 4 hours. I say 4 hours. Sorry. 2 hours behind. Johnson Akinwale, thank you for joining me. Good evening. I say good evening. Please don't mind me. Oluwadare Taiwo, thank you for joining me from Nigeria. His special key, thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Ineka Konko, thank you for joining me. His special key, thank you once again. Okay. Saeed Adeyemi, thank you for joining. Olanike, thank you. I really appreciate you taking your time to join me this evening. Um, I know that we are all busy in Canada. We are all trying to have work. Not everybody shall, but me, I don't know. When you're an entrepreneur, when you're a business person, you don't have any break. I I'm trying to find a break for myself or find break for my life. Okay. Yes, so thank you, Arize. I really appreciate you. In fact, I owe you one nkwobi, one plate of nkwobi. That is if you eat nkwobi. I miss Nigeria for all these kind of things. But funny enough, when I went to Nigeria, hey, geez, I'll call this person later. Sorry, let me just quickly tell the person that I'll call them later. So when I went to Nigeria in 2023, I don't know what I ate, and I was running stomach all through. Like, you know that. Akintude, thank you so much. Thank you, Alexandria. Thank you. I don't know what I ate. I had a lot of plans. You know, when you imagine in your head, when I go, I will eat. I'm a Port Harcourt baby, right? I grew up in Port Harcourt and then worked in Lagos, worked in Abuja, did my NYC in Enugu State. I'm just giving you a brief background of all the places I've been to. I've visited Jos, visited Niger State, visited Kaduna, of course, all these places ahead. So you imagine yourself that when you go back, when you go home, you will eat this, you will eat that, you will eat this. So I was just all the imagination. By the time I landed, I just ate one. Wow. And then after I ate that one, my stomach started saying, no, you don't just come and start eating things. And that was how I was running stomach all through all the what do you call this? Is it I don't know the names they call them to stop me from running stomach. All the medications I took, they were not working. Like they never worked. So I was now afraid. I was now just taking only bread. People will offer me food. I will say, no, I'm sorry. My stomach is reacting. All the things I planned to eat, I could not eat them because of that experience. So this last time that I went, the trauma of the 2023 trip was still there. I was afraid to eat the kind of food I wanted to eat. But that is because I don't know if some people will say when your system is used to food, but I mean, I eat African food in Canada here, so I don't know what happened. But with that experience, I was afraid to eat anyhow. I was just living on bread, which is not good. Anyway, so that's just small gist for today. Okay, so today we are talking about Yukon. Yukon, and funny enough, Yukon diaspora parties welcome. I was talking about the food I ate. Diaspora parties, yes, you are still owing me an invite to a party. Please, I need a party. Oladike, welcome. Josephine Daniel, welcome. Welcome. Okay, so Yukon. Yukon territories, they don't have anything for this year. Oh. Like, not that they don't have, they have. They just have 215 nomination slots, which the government gave to them. And because of that, they decided to switch things up. So it's not like you going there and then applying. They switch things in the sense that it is your employer that will apply for nomination slots on your behalf for Yukon. So for those who are planning to go to Yukon to see if they can try their luck to get anything out of Yukon, the nomination slot is just 215 and they have exhausted the nomination slots. And it's the employers that apply, not you, the applicant. The employer will get the nomination on your behalf before the applicant will then apply, right? That's how they set up their system. So it's difficult to just, strategize around a territory that just have 215 slots. I mean, it's very difficult. What kind of strategy would one put in place? And when I searched how many schools do they have in Yukon, they just have one university, the Yukon University, that covers or that accepts people from Alaska, because Alaska is close to Yukon. And these places are close to the Antarctic, is it what they call it? Is it Antarctica? Because there's that very cold area. It's close to those places. So they don't have anything, like they don't have provincial nomination slots anymore for this year. They've exhausted it. They closed it was it April or May 2025? And they said they were going to let me try to read what they said they have. That they were going to prioritize. I want to see where they said they were going to prioritize what they said they were prioritizing again. Just hold on. I thought I opened this thing. Okay, so priority for 2025, those who have lived and worked in the Yukon for at least 1 year, Yukon University graduates, those who are Francophone or French speaking and take their required language test in French, and then temporary measure letter of support recipients. So I'm going to explain the temporary measure letter of support recipients later. But the long and short of it is that Yukon does not have any nomination slots available. They've exhausted all their nomination slots. Anybody that plans to go there is an employer-based kind of nomination where your employer must apply for nomination first before you even apply. So the chances of getting anything out of Yukon for this year is zero, like zero, nil, zilch, nada, nothing in Yukon. So the only thing that is I feel that has at least a potential is the temporary measure support letter that they have. That temporary measure support is more like a letter that helps people to extend their work permit for 2 years. So they have something like that. So this might be good for some people, right? It might be good for some people who intend to extend their work permit. So let's say you get a job offer in Yukon from an employer in Yukon, and you are not able to secure nomination, your employer can help you apply for the temporary measure letter of support to help you extend your work permit by 2 years. So that option, I feel, is the only good option that is good. The others, I mean, they don't have any nomination slots. So there's really nothing good about, I mean, going there, So yeah. So is the employer that we even apply to the letter of support is a temporary initiative that allows you to apply for a one-time Yukon specific work permit. This extends your authorization to work in the Yukon for up to 2 years. Your employer must then apply to the Yukon nominee program in 2025 or 2026 before your work permit expires. Participants for this measure, you were living or working in Yukon as of May 16, 2025, and your work permit has expired or will expire in 2025. So for those who the condition of living and working in the Yukon as of May 2024 actually negates it. it negates it in the sense that if you intend to move to the Yukon now, you might not get that temporary measure support letter. But that would have been the best, at least it would have been something handy for those whose work permit are about to expire. I mean, it's just to get a job offer and then get that letter to extend your work permit by 2 years. But because they put in that clause that says you must have been living in the Yukon for at least since May, or before May 16, 2024. That's the only thing that makes it difficult now. They are even giving consideration to those whose work permit has expired, right? I mean, for them to give consideration to those whose work permit has expired, I feel that's a good thing for Yukon. So there's really nothing much for Yukon. I don't even know whether there are any Africans living in the Yukon. I think I put up that post once, if there was any African living in the Yukon that I want to explore there, but nobody answered me. I put it on my Instagram page. Is there any African living in the Yukon? I know there are Africans living in Nunavut. Even my sister's sister-in-law, she's living in Nunavut. I know of Nunavut. I know of Africans living in Nunavut. But Yukon, I've not seen anybody, and I really want to explore Yukon and see how that place looks like. Maybe just fly there and see what it is like. But that will be next year. This year, summer is already over, so I plan towards that for next year. Next year, that will be my plan, as in go to the Yukon territories, go to the Northwest territories, and go to Nunavut, the 3 territories. Let me just go and see how those places are. And then I'll carry you guys along and you guys can see. Maybe I'll check if, oh no, September will not work for me. I wish I had the time. Okay, so that's it. There's really nothing much for Yukon. Like, I mean, nothing, they really don't have anything. Just 215 nomination slots. Their program is the critical worker. Is it critical worker or critical impact? Let me see the correct name. Just give me some seconds. Critical worker program. They have the skilled worker program, and then they have the entrepreneurial program. But nothing is so special. They don't really have anything. Once upon a time, they had this Yukon community program where if you're working for 2 Yukon employers, you'll be eligible for provincial nomination, but they've ended that program now. That program is no longer there. And they don't really have much. Like, they don't really have much at all. I know that anybody living in the Northern Territories, they pay them more money because of the way the place is. But in terms of living conditions, is very bad. Living conditions are very, very bad. Like, things are very expensive. If those of us who are here complaining of how things are expensive in New Brunswick, Yukon is much, much more expensive, but they pay very well in terms of their medical professionals. They pay nurses, they pay doctors, they pay personal support workers. They pay them a premium for living in that place, in that condition. And there was one teacher I saw her teacher. She's a Chinese, she's of a Chinese descent, or she's of a Chinese lineage. A very young girl. She got a teaching job in Yukon and she was earning so much money. Her goal was to go. So what people do is this. Some of these Filipinos, Chinese people, Filipinos and Chinese and Indians, these 3 category of people, what they do is they take up jobs in these places, make the money that they need to make. Let's say their target is to make maybe $500,000 within the next 2 years. They just go to the Yukon or Northwest Territories to go and make that money. Once they make that money, they leave. That's what some of them do. So I don't know if money is a motivating factor. If money is a motivating factor to move to Yukon or Northwest Territories or Nunavut, just to go and see how much one can make there and then come back and retire or whatever. Yeah. Yes, Johnson. Yes, that's it. It means if you have secured an employment, your employer will apply for the nomination on your behalf. Yes. They didn't mention the types of jobs. They didn't mention the types of jobs that are in demand. They just said they are going to prioritize healthcare workers and some other workers, and that's all. They didn't even mention selected occupations, nothing, like nothing. Just Yukon University graduates, those who have lived in Yukon for 1 year, and those who are Francophone, French-speaking people. That's what they said. Is there anything like PGWP extension from Ontario, especially PSW? PGWP extension is only subject to your passport, the validity of your passport. If you apply for PGWP and your passport was, let's say you were supposed to get 3 years postgraduate work permit, but because of your passport validity, you only got 1 year postgraduate work permit, then you can extend your postgraduate work permit to get the remaining years, right? That's when you extend. But just to say you want to extend after you've exhausted your PGWP, IRCC is frowning at a lot of people doing dummy applications these days. So you have to be very careful. Okay. So let me see. Info last time, if someone with career college in Ontario will get job offer in Newfoundland and Labrador in demand PMP. Career college in Ontario, PSW, get a job offer in Newfoundland and Labrador. So if they get a job offer in Newfoundland and Labrador, then they qualify to work on that. They qualify to apply for provincial nomination, but they must have a job vacancy assessment, right? PSW is not, well, is PSW one of the in-demand occupation? I don't, is it, I know that they put personal care attendant. I'm not sure. I have to check. But if it doesn't fall under in-demand occupation, it falls under the other, what do you call it now? Category where the employer has to get a job vacancy assessment. Okay. So I've actually just jumped to start asking, answering questions. Yes, the cold in those territories now bomb, especially Yukon near Alaska. Yes, near Alaska, more money in that place. I saw the lady on TikTok. She was just telling us how much she earns after all the deductions. And I was like, are you not sure I will pack my load and go there? Don't mind me, I'm just joking. I was just like, she earns so much living in one small room just to make, some people have targets. Some people just have some financial targets for themselves, for their lives, right? Some people just want to say, okay, I give myself 2 years to work, I give myself 3 years to work, and I'll retire. Some people are like that. So they go extreme, they do extreme things by going to these places where people don't want to go to make the money, and then they come back and retire. That's what some people do. So I mean, if you find yourself, if you feel that you're in the category of people that want to just go and make the money and you're done, then the territories are a good place to go to. But in terms of immigration, the territories do not really have that much slots, especially for this year, compared to the other parts of Canada. I mean, just 215 slots is just too much. Not even, I said too much, too small. It's not even up to 1,000 or 500. I mean, it's too small. And before, they used to have something called the express entry stream, where the Yukon government will go into the express entry pool and select candidates that they want and give them invitation to apply so that they can apply for nomination and all of that. They used to have that some years ago, but they've scrapped it, part of all the policy changes that are ongoing with provincial nominations. They've scrapped that pathway. Okay. All right. Let me start answering questions. It's looking like today we will not spend so much time, except there are so many questions, because I mean, like I said, Yukon does not really have much. So I've already talked about it already. Yes, Dr. V, thank you for joining me. Moscow Mac Jerry, thank you for coming. Thank you also for joining me. Akinola Benga, thank you for joining me. My oga at the top. Your message, I've not answered your message on WhatsApp. Please forgive me. I don't know what I've answered though. I have plenty messages on my WhatsApp that I've not answered. Okay. Why is it that implied status for PGWP is taking longer these days? Almost 6 months. Okay, so let me explain. So there are too many applications for work permits that has clogged the system, right? Too many applications for work permit that has clogged the system. And because there are too many applications for work permit that has clogged the system, it's taking beyond 6 months or more for them to make a decision. And the too many applications comes from a lot of people submitting dummy applications. A lot of people who's, if you recall, when Trudeau was in power, there was one time at the parliament, they were asking, was it Trudeau they were asking or Macmillan? I don't know who they were asking. That said about 1 million or 2 million work permits will expire in 2025. What was the government doing to make sure that those people whose work permit expire leave the country? And if you listen to the answer Trudeau gave then was that they expect these people to leave the country on their own. But I mean, CBSA has really not been, if you ask me, I will tell you my opinion. CBSA has really not been enforcing people to leave. And for me, I feel that, yes, these people who are not leaving, they feel that they've invested in Canada, they should find a way to get their work permit or get their PR before leaving. Nobody comes, invest in a place, and then just pack their bags and leave like that. There are some people that pack their bags and leave like that, they don't mind. But there are some people who see this immigration journey as something very important, as an investment, and they need how will I call it now, reap the results of their investment. They need to reap something from their investment. So there are some people who decided on their own to say, okay, you know what? If my work permit is expiring and I've not found a way to get PR status, and there's no harm, that's the way they interpret it, not me. There's no harm in applying for an extension while I figure out how I can get my PR. A lot of those 1 million people whose work permits were supposed to expire also applied for work permit extension. Not to talk of those who are originally entitled to apply for PGWP, and then add other categories of people who are applying for work permits, bridging open work permits. So you have all these people applying, right? Then the system is clogged with a lot of backlog. So they have to take their time to start going through each application and then approving. That's why it's taking 6 months. For some people, it's even taking 8 months. And I also need to mention this, although I saw it on my Instagram page, but I need to mention it here, that for some people, what RCC is doing is that if originally you have, let's say, 1 year work permit or 1 year PGWP, and you during the 8 months implied or during the 6 months implied status, they didn't give you a decision on time, and then it extends to 8 months, right? They didn't give you a decision again. It extends to 10 months. They didn't give you a decision. By the time they are giving you a decision, they will now deduct the number of months you stayed without a permit. They will deduct that 8 months or 10 months that you are waiting for without a permit, and then just give you only 2 months. That's what some people said that they got. So I don't know. I've not experienced it. Most of my clients that I've submitted applications for, I've not experienced this kind of situation where it's already beyond 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months on implied status. And then when RCC is approving the application, they're only approving that you stay for 2 months or 3 months, the remaining months that is left of your PGWP. I've not seen it, but some people said that's what is actually going on now. So it's a bit scary that people are working and waiting for their application to be approved, and then RCC is coming back to say, oh, okay, so all this period that you are waiting, they are counting it as part of you working. I mean, does it make sense? I don't know. Some people said they got their PGWP approved and it was not complete because of the months they were waiting for the approval. Okay, so let's just pray that they clear their backlog. Ketri, welcome. You didn't miss anything. Nothing is happening in Yukon. That's what I said. You didn't miss anything. Okay, so I'll move on to the next question. I think I've answered this. Yes, I've already answered this. If someone is on an LMIA as a visitor, and it happens that the same job is now listed as one of the job under RCIP PR in Brandon, how can the person switch for RCIP PR? Must he complete the LMIA first? No, he doesn't need to complete the LMIA first, right? If the job is listed, all he needs to do is to get the job offer from the designated employer. The LMIA itself, is it closed work permit? because you cannot be on LMIA as a visitor. LMIA is closed work. LMIA is a closed work permit. He must have LMIA working for another employer. And then if he now sees another employer that can hire him and the employer is under one of the designated employers in Brandon, then the person can apply for what do you call it, endorsements, and apply for, he gets the job offer, apply for endorsements, and then apply for work permit, and then move from the first closed work permit employer to the second employer, because it will still be closed work permit as well. Okay. I think I've answered that one. Sorry, the diaspora parties, I will need you to put your question again so that I can answer it. Okay. Well, was I able to reach NBCC? It was just going to voicemail. It was going to voicemail all through this morning. And I said, okay, maybe I'll wait for them to call me back, and nobody called me back, sadly. So I will try again tomorrow. That's the problem with all these places. You call them, it goes to voicemail. You call again, it goes to voicemail. And even if you leave your number, sometimes they call you back, sometimes they don't call you back. Sometimes they will call the next day. So I'll wait for them again, or I'll call them tomorrow. At least this is 6:30, but I've not seen any missed call on my phone. So, okay. I left university 15 years ago, but want to now apply for my master's at MUN in civil engineering. Hard back in my, what are my chances? You have good chances. It's just that the years of graduation, I don't know if they can overlook it. At least your graduation date plus your, no, not your graduation date, your CGPA plus your work experience should count as a waiver. It should count as a waiver for you. So it's just to look at the requirements of Memorial University and see if they can give you a waiver. I don't think they typically put conditions on when you graduated. I don't think so. That shouldn't be a problem. Just look at the requirements that they have put up on their website. If you meet the requirements, then go ahead and apply. Yes, you can. You can book via the website www.caninfoconsult.com. Okay. So skill worker pathway in Newfoundland and Labrador stated people with PTWP. Skill worker pathway in Newfoundland and Labrador. Okay, people with PGWP with a job offer and they have a job vacancy assessment from their employer, they can apply for nomination. They can apply for nomination. Oga Moscow, thank you so much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your words of encouragement. I really appreciate it. Okay. With the current policies and reduction of visas being granted, do you think it may be a positive outcome for people already in Canada? It's supposed to be a positive outcome for people in Canada, but I still feel that a lot of people outside are still taking advantage of the category-based selection or category-based draw. You know the draw they did yesterday for healthcare? A lot of people from outside Canada are going to benefit more than people who are inside Canada. But then, I mean, I was reading an article today. Where was it? What was that about? Okay, so that article was about the provincial nomination slots and how provinces are supposed to distribute those nomination slots such that some category of people can get those nomination slots under express entry, while some will be non-express entry. But they did not expatiate how many they didn't put the numbers of the people that are supposed to get their nomination tied to express entry. I wish I read that article completely. I just read the surface and just left it because I felt I was busy. Okay. Can I move with my family if I'm studying 3 years nursing program in Canada? Yes. If you are studying a 3 years nursing program, you can move with your family. Your spouse will get a spousal open work permit. And there are schools that have 3 years nursing program. Number one, Brandon University has 3 years nursing program, 3 years psychiatric nursing program. Which other school again? Check Cape Breton University in Nova Scotia. I don't know whether they have a 3 years nursing program, but just check and confirm. Some schools have 3 years nursing program. University of Prince Edward Island also has accelerated nursing program. University of Prince Edward Island, they have accelerated nursing program that you can complete it within 24 months, within 2 years, and you still get your RN, your registered nursing. And you will still qualify to bring in your family members. Your spouse will be eligible for spousal open work permit. That reminds me, I just remembered somebody's case now. Anyway, there are too many things on this head. Okay. Thank you, Joyful Strides. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me this evening. International graduate student stream allow with PGWP stated the applicant can only work on the field of study as a student with PGWP in business but have job offer in health. PGWP in business, have job offer in health. Can't this person use the stream? The person cannot use the international graduate stream, right? The person cannot use the international graduate stream. They have to use the skilled worker stream. They have to use the skilled worker stream. Okay. Okay, I will check my mail. There's a backlog of mails, a backlog of work that I have not done. And I'm just hoping that I clear a lot this week. There are some reports I've not even sent, which I would work on this night and do them. Okay. There's also accelerated stuff. Yes, St. Francis Xavier University in Nova Scotia, accelerated nursing. They have that as well. So if you want to come and do nursing, there's accelerated nursing. There are accelerated nursing programs, but you have to meet the requirements for those accelerated nursing programs. Some of them you can complete within 2 years, which saves you more money. Some you can complete within 3 years. You're good to go. Those ones you complete within 2 years or 3 years, your spouse will still be eligible for a spousal open work permit. Okay. The person is on LMIA closed work permit as a visitor. The person cannot be a visitor and still be on LMIA now. If the person has a closed work permit, the person is a worker, not a visitor. But the same company he's working for now has also been enlisted for ROCIP and have the same job. So then the person is good to go, right? If he's still with the same employer, the employer is now designated as a designated employer in Brandon, he's good to go. They should just give him the offer and then he applies for endorsement. He's already good to go. He's good to go. They should just give him the job offer. He applies for endorsement from the community. With the endorsement, he's applying for permanent residence. The person is good to go already. There's no need to do anything. He's already the same employer. So he just needs a new job offer and then apply for endorsement. All right. One-year program at MBCC, yet to apply for PGWP. Rather, apply another program, but during summer holiday, secure job in health with designated employer. Okay. Your question is not complete, sir. Should I supposed to have to call my husband, my 3 kids at the same time? So you're a family of 5. For a family of 5, I'll recommend you check the proof of funds requirement for a family of 5. Just give me some seconds. Let me quickly pull that information up. Proof of funds requirement for a family of 5 for study permit. If you're coming, because they've announced that the proof of funds requirement has increased effective September 1, 2025. Anybody that submits an application for study permit, please take note, effective September 1, 2025, you will no longer be using the old rate. For a family of 5, proof of funds requirement is 48,252, $48,252 for living expense. We have not calculated the, what you call it now, the tuition now. So let's do the calculation. If you're coming for a 3 years program, and let's say the 3 years accelerated nursing program, per year, you're going to be paying about, I'm giving an exaggerated figure, let's say you're paying 15,000 CAD per annum, right, per year, and you're coming for a 3 years program. Multiply that $15,000 per year, multiplied by 3 years. That should give you $45,000. So for the 3 years, you're paying $45,000 for tuition alone. Okay. Now they are saying for 1 year, for living expense for your family is 48,252. You have to multiply this 48,252 by 3 years. That is if they don't even change it, but just multiply by 3 years. 48, I'm doing the calculation now. 48,252 times 3. That's 144,756. Then add your 3 years tuition. That's 45,000 is your tuition. So you are supposed to show proof of funds of $189,756. That's what you're supposed to show as proof of funds. But you need to also add money for your flight ticket for your family. Flight ticket for a family of 5, let's say 10,000 CAD. So what you're supposed to show is $199,756,000, right? I would say make it a round figure of $200,000 for your proof of funds. But then that's not what you just show. You have to show excess funds so that you don't tell the visa officers that, oh, I'm scraping the whole of my savings to come and study in Canada. So show as much as $250,000 as proof of funds. That's a lot of money. That's why people run away from 3 years programs and all of that. It's a lot of money to show as proof of funds. But if you don't have that money complete, and let's say you have income generating funds, like you have a business that's generating funds for you, you can mention that your business is generating funds for you. But sometimes the visa officers, they don't really like those kind of explanations. They want to see cash. They want to see that you have cash, you have the money. Yeah. Okay. Do I need a job in my field of study to qualify for PGWP or any job? Any job. You don't even need it. You don't even need a job to apply for your PGWP, right? You don't need a job offer to apply for your PGWP. It's only those with spouses who want to extend their spouse's status. Those are the ones that are required to get a job offer in any occupation in NOC 01 or any of the selected occupation in NOC. Is it NOC 0? Sorry, Tier 01 or any of the selected occupations in Tier 2 and 3. Okay. Can someone in PGWP do the accelerated program? Well, it depends. If you're in the same school, yes. But if you want to go and start that school, you have to apply for another study permit. If you're in PGWP and you've seen another program that you want to do, you can apply for another study permit, but of course, you know that you will not be able to get another PGWP again because you already done your PGWP. Yeah. Okay. Any update on Saskatchewan nomination program? There is no updates. Saskatchewan, I've treated Saskatchewan. There is really nothing new coming from Saskatchewan yet. Nothing new yet. I did Saskatchewan. Was it on Sunday? I think I talked about Saskatchewan on Sunday. Yeah. Where I gave a summary of the options that are available for those who are in Canada, those who are outside Canada, what they can take advantage of, their priorities. They are really prioritizing just healthcare and agriculture programs. And then those in Canada that graduated from Saskatchewan or those from other provinces going to Canada, going to Saskatchewan, they have 4 pathways. They have the student pathway, they still have the health talent, agriculture talent, and then they have the tech talent pathway. That's 4 of those pathways. Entrepreneurial pathways closed. So, and of course, for Saskatchewan, your employer has to endorse you. Without your employer's endorsement, you cannot even apply, right? So, yeah, you cannot apply for nomination. You can't even create your expression of interest. But for those outside, you can create an expression of interest and just be in the pool, especially for the health talent pool. You can be in the pool, and then if there's any employer that likes you and wants to give you a job offer, they can go into the pool. Not necessarily any employer anyway, because for the health talent, I mean, your occupation has to be within the health categories, all those occupations they listed. They also have occupations that they have excluded that they will not be giving nominations for this year. And if you're working in those category of occupations, it means you will not be able to get nomination from Saskatchewan. So I talked extensively about Saskatchewan on Sunday. So probably you watched the live session that I did on Sunday. Okay. I want my sister to come in to study PSW at MBCC, but things are here, like how difficult to get an employer and the PR process. How? I don't think so. New Brunswick does not have issues. I don't know where you're getting your information from. From what I know, New Brunswick does not really have issues with people getting employers and getting nominations and all of that. It's how you are able to convince employers. I think I said during my one of the live sessions that I was going to bring a human resources professional to come and talk about careers and communicating and how you can get your job and all of that. I don't know if there's time to invite him to attend this live where we could ask questions about positioning yourself to get job offers. A lot of the time, I know it's not easy to get job offers, but then people should spread their options and people should start learning the language of what employers are looking for. So I've not heard issues about New Brunswick. Oh, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm in a village. maybe I'm in a village inside the New Brunswick that I'm not hearing any news. Anyway, all right. Okay, any update on PRO healthcare applications in March 2025? Any update on PRO healthcare applications? PRO applications health, which of the applications are you referring to now? If you could tell me which of the one you are referring to, I can probably give you an answer. I don't know which one you're referring to. Are you referring to express entry or provincial nomination? Okay, just completed 1 year program MBCC yet to apply for, but I secure another program to get 3 years PGWP. But during summer holiday, I secure a job in health with designated employer. Any advice? Okay. So if you've secured a job offer with a designated employer in New Brunswick and you are yet to apply for PGWP, please apply for the PGWP. Ask your employer, are they willing to endorse you? I believe this is under the Atlantic Immigration Program, right? If it is under the Atlantic Immigration Program and you've already secured a job offer, ask them if they are willing to endorse you. Of course, you know that AIP slots for this year for New Brunswick has closed. That means you're preparing yourself for next year. Even with that, you still qualify for the New Brunswick graduate, what do you call it now? Graduate stream under the skilled worker category. You still qualify. And if you are yet to apply for your PGWP, then go ahead and apply for the PGWP. Go ahead and apply for the PGWP. I don't know. Are you afraid that if you apply for the PGWP, you're reducing your chances of actually getting 3 years PGWP? You just want to be at peace. You don't want to be under pressure. If you feel that you might be under pressure with just a 1 year PGWP, then I'll say, okay, go ahead and extend your study permits. But if you know that your designated employer will endorse you, right? You will not have issues. Your employer will endorse you. Then, take a chance. This is August. Between now and January next year, when they announce the slots, you will not be eligible for the AIP pathway for this year, but you'll be eligible for the skilled worker pathway, which you can submit your application and you could get a nomination or get an invitation for you to submit a nomination. Okay. Does it mean if I'm applying for my PGWP together with my SOWP, I still don't need a job offer? But I mentioned some minutes ago that if you apply for your PGWP alone, if you didn't come with your spouse, if you're applying alone, you do not need a job offer. But if you're applying with your spouse, to extend your spouse's permit, you need a job offer in a selected occupation in Tier 2, Tier 3, or in any occupation at the managerial supervisory level in Tier 0, Tier 1. Okay. Are there specific employers in Saskatchewan that can endorse one? Because in Ontario, it's becoming hard to get employers who are enrolled on the OIMP platform. Same thing, Saskatchewan employers are also having, like a lot of people are also having same complaints about Saskatchewan, like Ontario as well. The only thing I can recommend is, or what do you call it now? The employers that are very easy to endorse is Sask Health, SK Health. So if you're able to get a job offer with SK Health, Saskatchewan Health Authority, then you are good to go in getting a job approval letter. Of course, you must get a job approval letter before you even apply for nomination, right? So if you're able to get a job offer with SK Health Authority, I'm mentioning SK Health Authority because I know that there are a lot of people who are trying to get, who are within that health authority and they have gotten their job approval letter to apply for nomination. So if you are finding it difficult in Ontario, then try Saskatchewan. But of course, you need to meet the residency requirement for Saskatchewan. And don't target the opportunities in Saskatoon or Regina. Go out of those areas. Go to the northern places where nobody wants to go to. And of course, you hardly see people go to those places because people are not really staying in those places. Okay, I should bring the career coach. Yes, I will talk to him so that we can set up a date where the career coach can come and talk, and then people who have issues with securing job offers, what strategies they can put in place to secure job offers. Yeah, I'll bring him on live so that he can he can come and he can come and talk to people how people can position themselves to get job offers now that we have artificial intelligence. Now that people can use AI to do their resumes, right? What other strategies behind AI type of resumes? How do you get your employers? Like, how do you get those employers that are not using artificial intelligence? You know, or if you're a high skilled worker, then of course AI should be your best friend or partner. But if you're not a high skilled worker, if you're a low skilled worker, low skilled employers, they don't know anything concerning AI. They are not bothered about AI. All they know is, can you do the work? Explain yourself. If you can explain yourself, you're good to go. Okay. The home support and child support healthcare, both for out of status and inside Canada. Okay, so it will open. I've not seen anybody in that set that said they have received an AOR. And it's funny because that particular pathway, the history of that particular pathway is that there are a lot of issues with that particular pathway. They have lots of backlog from years upon years that people have not gotten their PRO status yet, based on that, on previous years' issues. So, and then they're now adding a new, fresh, what do you call it now? Fresh application or fresh group. And since March, April, May, June, July, August, this is the 5th month or 6th month. Nobody has come to say I have gotten an acknowledgement of receipt from the home care program that I submitted my application for. I've not seen anybody that came to tell me they've gotten their AOR from that. So we don't know. We don't know anything until next year. When the next year slot opens, there will still be opportunity for those who are out of status to apply. There will still be opportunity for those who are within Canada to apply. But what is the timeline to getting PR? That is what we don't know. A lot of people do not know the timeline to getting permanent residency through that pathway. If you ask me what's the timeline to getting PR through provincial nomination, I can tell you it's 20 months. If you tell me timeline to getting PR through express entry, 6 months. Timeline to getting PR through AIP, 12 months, 12 to 14 months. Timeline to getting PR through RCIP, 12 to 14 months, right? But timeline to getting PR through, what do you call it now? Through business immigration, depends on the business immigration. Some are 20 months, some are 14 months, some are, depends on the province. Timeline to getting PR through the child caregiver pathway, I don't know. Let me quickly just open the processing time and see if there is any information for that. If there is, then I will let you know. But I mean, if you want to go through that pathway, you have to be very careful. Processing time. You have to be careful so that you are not waiting for 5 years for your PR. You're not waiting. You might be thinking, oh, let me apply, let me apply, let me apply. And then you're now waiting for 5 years to get permanent residence. It's crazy. I'm just like, I don't know. Oh no, after April 23. They're asking too many questions. So okay, so they said 24 months. That's what they said. For those who applied after 2023 for the home child care program, it's 24 months they are saying. "24 months." Okay. So they have two options. There's one for 24 months, there's one for 17 months, where they're saying those who have experience of less than 12 months, right? Is 17 months processing time. Those who have experience of more than 12 months is 24 months processing time. Okay, so that means anybody that is applying, just know this: if you're applying for the home child care program, home support worker program that will open in 2026, it will take you 2 years to get your PR. Okay, I have a license that designated home daycare with GovMB. How do I get to PR from here, and how do I employ an educator from Africa? Oh, that's nice. License that designated home daycare. Home daycare. Okay, for home daycare, if you want to apply somebody from outside Canada, you need to advertise the job opportunity first and apply for LMIA. LMIA, because it's not LMIA exempt. You have to apply for LMIA. But home-based business, they have, I don't know, are you using your home or you have a center? Because they will ask you all those things. Before they even give you the LMIA, they will interview you. You go through the interview process. So let me give you the step-by-step process for LMIAs. LMIA's first step is you advertise the job on Job Bank and one other government websites for 1 month. But ideally, for those of us who are consultants, we recommend 2 months and ongoing, right? You advertise it for 2 months and ongoing, and then you gather the data of the number of people who applied in Canada and those who didn't apply from Canada, right? Of course, because that same data is fed by the government will check your job. You must apply with Job Bank. So they pick those data as well. And you must provide reasons why you have not seen anybody in Canada to hire. You must provide those reasons. If you provide those reasons and they are satisfied with your reasons, and you show them that you've been in Canada, or your business has been running for a particular period of time, your business has its own office, which is why I said with home daycare, I don't know, I don't know whether that will fly with the ESDC officers, but there's no harm in trying, right? Now you apply, you pay the $1,000 fee. Of course, you have to show them evidence that there was no Canadian permanent resident, Canadian citizen, Canadian temporary resident, newcomer, refugee, indigenous person that you could hire. You have to show evidence, and that evidence has to go do it. The information, that the number of people who applied through Job Bank or the other website, you have to show them evidence that you could not get anybody to hire, or nobody was interested in your job advert. So if you show them those evidence plus evidence of your business registration documents, evidence of you paying CRA, taxes, your notice of assessment for your business, as if your business is incorporated or if your business is a sole prop, depending on the type of business you registered. You show them all this evidence, they would call you for an interview. By the time you do the interview and they assess you and they feel that, okay, yes, you actually qualified to hire somebody from outside Canada, they'll give you the LMIA. Now, if you've not passed the interview and they say you don't qualify, that means they will not give you the LMIA. If they give you the LMIA, the person can use the LMIA to apply for a work permit to come into Canada. But if they don't give you the LMIA, then sadly, there's nothing you can do. Now, when you say designated, are you designated under Atlantic Immigration Program or just the normal designated license? If you are designated under AIP, then yes, you can actually bypass the LMIA process. So I don't know if you're designated under AIP or you just normal designation you get from New Brunswick. If you're designated under AIP, you can bypass the LMIA process and do LMIA exemption for the person. But of course, you have to apply to get endorsement and all of that for the person. Yeah. Okay. Just the normal designated license. Okay, well, if it's just normal designated license, then you have to apply for LMIA. If it's AIP, then you are bypassing LMIA. And which location are you in? Sorry, I'm asking this. Which location of MB are you in? Are you in Fredericton, Moncton, or St. John? Those are the three popular areas. Okay. So in the absence of Fredericton, that's nice. Okay. In the absence of you can try to get the designation for AIP, but AIP will require that your business must be at least 2 years old. For AIP, for you to get the AIP designation, you must at least your business must be 2 years old in New Brunswick. That reminds me, self. Anyway, God will help my life. I just remembered something. Okay. In the absence of any other question, I think I've done justice to today's topic. There was nothing really to talk about for Yukon. At least I've answered all the questions. I hope that your questions were well answered. And okay, for you to get PR for yourself, are you a temporary resident? If you want to get PR for yourself, then you have to, which pathway are you looking at? Are you in Canada as a skilled worker, or are you in Canada as a what do you call it, study permit holder? Which one? I need to know your background. You only mentioned your business. Getting accommodation in rural Canada is well. Yes, it's true. Getting accommodation in rural Canada is really very, very. I lived there now. When I talked about my story of how we sold our property at a loss. If you've not watched that video, go and watch that video. That was last year. Last year when I talked about, yes, I talked about 8 years in Canada, and then I talked about how we sold our property at a loss. It was rural Canada to get, and I talked about the circumstances that led us to buy that house. Like there were no houses to rent. The only available houses were houses that you have to buy. And we didn't want to buy. We had no choice but to buy because where we were living was not convenient at all, at all, at all. So we bought, and by the time we my husband was now moving, we had no choice but to sell, and then we sold and we didn't get any money back. And since that time, I've just been eyeing the property market and just like, should I buy or should we just respect ourselves? Anyway, this argument of not buying buying a house versus investing in stock market, there's been a lot of arguments around it, and I feel like I should talk about it. I feel like I should deviate from immigration and just start talking about something else. Please tell me, should I deviate? Yes, lots of houses for sale, but none for rent. Instead, they will be telling you to live in a basement and you're paying a ridiculous amount of money. Very, very something. Anyway, yeah. So, making a choice between studying in Ontario and Saskatchewan, which can you advise for someone? Please don't go to those two provinces for now. Just go to Newfoundland and Labrador. Don't go to the Ontario or Saskatchewan for now. Just go to NL. I will direct you to where there are immigrant-friendly policies, right? Immigrant-friendly policies is where I will direct you to. Either Newfoundland or Manitoba or New Brunswick or Nova Scotia itself. They have their own small wahala on their head. So don't go to Ontario. Avoid Ontario. The number of people in Ontario are too much already. Just avoid Ontario. Okay. So I think that's all for today. Can you, Sola, please maybe probably shoot me an email, give me I know that I'm owing a lot of responses to people. Please bear with me. I hope to clear the backlog this week. A lot of backlogs this week. I clear, they pile up again. I clear, they pile up. So I'll try to clear them this week and answer your questions. Or you come tomorrow, join us tomorrow's session so that I can answer them. Tomorrow we'll be talking about Northwest Territories and see whether they have anything there. If they don't have anything like Yukon, then we'll just spend time answering questions. Okay, thank you so much for your time for today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of you, like from the depth of my heart. I don't know how to say thank you for taking time out. I mean, 1 hour is a big deal. I mean, we are living in this place where every hour counts, and you might just want to be using your 1 hour to do something for yourself or to be making money. And you're joining me, sacrificing the 1 hour to join me, talk about immigration. I really appreciate it. I truly appreciate it. I hope that I see each of you. Please don't be offended if you see me. just just call my name. I'll come and hug you. Arize, thank you. Catherine, thank you. Kaisola, thank you. Johnson, thank you. Thank you so much. Diaspora parties, thank you. Dr. V, thank you so much for joining me. And see you guys tomorrow where we talk about Northwest Territories. And that'll be the end of each province analysis. And then we'll start taking each occupation analysis of like doctors, where should you target? Nurses, where should you target? Teachers, where should you target? Social workers, where should you target? Financial workers, where should you target? I'll be taking those ones and then probably bring the career coach to talk about how people can position themselves to get job offers, what changes they need to make before the August special ends. And I hope I don't disappear. I'm already getting used to this everyday life. Fingers crossed. September is going to be a very busy month for me, so I don't know. I hope I don't disappear. All right. Thank you so much and have a very, very good evening. Have a very good evening. Thank you.